There's three aspects of the word Israel. First is Eretz Yisrael, the land of Israel. Second is Am Yisrael, the people of Israel, which doesn't just refer to citizens of Israel, but the whole world Jewry. And the third is Medinat Yisrael, which is the state of Israel. Now the first two, I feel, complete solidarity with. The third one, Medinat Yisrael, of course, depends on what the government and the institutions are doing. So that's very ambivalent. But here's the thing about Eretz Yisrael. People are now saying that we simply arrived after the Holocaust from Europe and we took the land from the Palestinians, and that we were given permission by colonial imperialist forces to go to Israel, to go to Palestine and take over. The degree of absurdity of this is the following. One, there's never in the thousands of years of history in the land of Israel, there's never been a time where there wasn't Jewish settlement or Jews living there, never. Secondly, even if it was small numbers, there's always been an affinity. Secondly, in Jewish religion and Judaism itself, Israel as a concept, as a symbol, but also as a reality, is included in every single service at every moment. Thirdly, throughout history, Western history, let's say, but even not just Western history, Jews, when they had to leave their country or wanted to go to Israel out of strong religious or ethnic feelings, went. Now, they weren't large numbers, but my ancestor, my direct ancestor, ended up in Israel in 1515. Why? Because he was at the top, the pinnacle of Spanish civilization, up till 1492, when the Inquisition started. Basically, there were three choices: convert, be killed, or leave. He chose exile. He was a very, very prominent person. He was Abraham Zacuto. He was a major astronomer, inventor, rabbi, professor. His name is engraved in the library of the University of Salamanca in Spain, and that's the second oldest university in Europe. So where did he go? He went to Portugal, right next door. And he ended up becoming the court astronomer for King John, 1492. But this only lasted to 1497, 5 years. Why? Because the Queen Isabella was very, very against Jews and wanted to force Portugal. It had to do with royal weddings or something, the royal dynasty. And they forced the Inquisition to Portugal. So again, he had the same three choices: convert, be killed, or leave. And he left. And the story's very complicated of what happened next, but apparently he was on his way to Morocco by boat, by ship, and there were pirates and so forth. So it was really an arduous journey, and ends up in the land, Eretz Yisrael, in the land of Israel in the 1500s. And there were other Jews there in Jerusalem and Tzfat. And Tzfat is a small city, a small town that has always been a place of Jewish mysticism. And he was no longer an astronomer, as far as I know, and he became pretty bitter about what had happened, rightfully so. And he wrote some historical books in Hebrew. And he died. They don't know where he's buried. I would like to find where he's buried. There are Zacutos all over the world and people who are descendants of Zacuto, including my family. This shows that there's not some kind of artificial connection to Israel. It shows a long, long history of connection. One major refutation, one simple way to refute the notion that Israel is an artificial creation. What the academic morons say, call it a project of colonialism, a project. How can a nation be a project? So you don't have to go into history. You don't have to go into politics. You can just say one thing. The Hebrew language, which has survived all these years. You can't be a project and create a language. And Hebrew and Arabic are similar. They both are written from right to left. They're both Semitic languages, but Hebrew is a distinct language. It is spoken by almost every adult in Israel, including Arab citizens of Israel. Some Israeli citizens also learn Arabic. Of course, English is spoken widely, but Hebrew is the national language. And that means that everything from prostitutes to warriors to intellectuals to academics to scientists to business people to high-tech people to taxi drivers to construction workers to people who run the markets, the marketplace, the vegetable guy, the meat guy, the falafel guy, they're all speaking Hebrew. They're all speaking Hebrew. Hebrew is a vibrant, living language of culture, of music, of dance, of theater, of film. This is not a project. This is a nation that is historic by any means. And those who are not bigoted against it are amazed that it survived. And one last thing. Israel is not a white country. It's not a black country. It's not a Latino country. It's not an Oriental Asian country. It is a mixed country. It's a mixed country. It's not simply European. Also, Jews have come from Morocco, from Tunisia, from Iran, from Iraq, from Afghanistan, from Ethiopia. It's a very, very mixed culture. Mixed ethnically, mixed socially, mixed in how people look. The idea that it's an oppressive white country is ludicrous and absurd, and it needs to be refuted. And the Hebrew language is the total refutation of those ideas.